Well, hey everybody, welcome back. Today is Sunday, May 23rd or 24th. I'm out here. I want to show you, I want to talk about a couple of things. The easy air layer, which is a stool layer modification, basal propagation, and that's essentially propagating a sucker off of a fig tree, and particularly a fig tree, but it works with other varieties. And I'll show you how I'm going to prepare one of those and do it. And then I'm also, before I do that, I'm going to cut off these 3 other air layers that I've already made back in October. Some would call this a tier system. What it is essentially 3 air layers that I put on the same trunk of this is a Peter's honey fig tree that I got from my friend Brad. You see, this is the main trunk, and I slid a pot over the top of it. And then it came out of the pot right here. See, it's got some greenery here. A big green stem sticking out of it right there that grows out. Then, as the trunk continued up, I put another pot on top. This is all on the same day. And I've got it all secured over here to a T-post. And then it's also got a branch growing out of it. Then, this is the 3rd pot. Look, there's a mushroom right here. How cool is that? And then, so I put the 3rd pot on, and that same day I cut the top off, and this is the new top coming out. So I test to know that these are well rooted, although this was back in October. Coming up now here in the summer, you can do this, and they root like in a month, maybe a month and a half, 2 months. But you can test by giving the pot a tug. If the pot doesn't want to slide up and down on the branch at all, you know it's fully rooted in there. So, and for example, here's another one right here that I've done just a single. It's barely moving, but I know you can see there, it's fully rooted. So what I'll do is I'll cut it off down here. This will be a whole tree now that I'll take and nurse up, and it'll be a whole tree. Same with these. So let me see about getting these cut off now, and try to do it all as steady as possible. So I've got it wire wrapped here, I see. I'm going to take that off. This is just some real thin gauge wire that I used to secure the pot to the T-post. And then in October, this was still inside my little hoop house, so I had this wired up to the ceiling, like metal ridge beam, so that it would keep the whole tree from shimmying. Okay, so that's the first one. Here we go. I'm gonna get my DeWalt cutters. Although this video isn't sponsored by DeWalt, this is a great tool. So I'm going to do this. I need to do 2 things. I need to push the camera up here so I can hold this pot with my hand right here while I'm cutting. Hold on, I'll show you. I'm going to cut right here underneath this pot at the highest point possible. Okay, here we go. I'll show you in a second. All right, it's cut free. I threw the cutters on the ground. Here we go. I'm pulling it away. Oh, and I left a little bit of bark. Hold on. You see that? I cut it, but not all the way. I need to cut it clean. Okay, it's cut clean now. Okay, here we go. I'm pulling it away. That's the cut-off piece right there. That's where it just came from. And look at this. It's a whole tree now. And we'll come over here so I can show you the results and the roots right now, because I'm curious to see as well. So I'm going to try to shimmy this pot off with one hand. No, I got to use the camera hand. Hold on. I'm sliding the pot off. Let's see if I can prop this camera up. I didn't want to do this, but let's see. I got it sitting in the dirt now, but how is that? Can you see anything? Can you see this right here? Look at this. Okay, I'm shimmying the pot out of the root ball out of the pot. I know the camera screen's cut off. Just hold on. And look at this. This thing is fully rooted into this pot. See that? You can definitely see roots there. Very nice. Okay, back into the pot now. Okay, so you see that? Fully rooted in there. Very nice. I'm going to go ahead and transplant it into these larger pots also. Okay, I found a fire ant nest. Look at this. This is fire ants all over my tool. So I'm going to stop the video here. I'll get these off. I'm not worried about them. I'll just pick it up and brush them off. And then I'm going to go on to cut these next 2 off. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. This is number 2 right here. I got number 1, I took it back out of the pot because I'm about to transplant it. That's number 2, and it's nicely rooted. But number 3, when I went to take it off, I could tell that it wasn't rooted properly. So I reached in there with my cutters and just kind of scratched those little cutters there, scratched at the bark real good around there where it's going to be in the soil. I didn't girdle it completely, but you could also girdle it. And I'll just leave that on there. We'll see how it goes. It might root in there for the next couple of weeks now. So I'll just keep an eye on it. So I'm about to pot these 2 up now. Okay, I'm back. So the last thing I did was labeled them just now. PH for Peter's Honey from Brad on today's date. It's either the 23rd or the 24th. But I just took those 2 plants out, dug a hole in that pot, and then put it in there, and then put a whole pot full of mulch on top. So right, they're gonna right on the surface of the crown, like cover it, hadn't made it all nice and flat there. So like where the top of the dirt was here is where the top of the dirt is in here, and then there's that much more mulch on top. So they're both looking good. They're both gonna live. I'll keep them watered. They looked a little dry in comparison. And then, like I said, this is still early summer, so I mean I don't even know if we're in summer yet. This technique really works in the heat of the summer. These things just seem to root really fast. So I do want to show you, oh my, I'm going to do it right here on the one I just took off. So just watch this. I think I can do it all with one hand. So what I did before was I cut a hole in the pot and I slipped it over top of the tree, right? That's what I'm about to do now. Let's see. Let me just pause it right quick and I'll show you. I'm gonna fold this branch up like this and slide that pot right over top of it, all the way down to the ground here. Okay? All right, hold on. Okay, there you go. So I just made that hole in the bottom a little bigger and pulled it over to the side hole, just because the way this was sitting. I popped off 2 or 3 bottom leaves here, and then I just folded up the top and slid that pot right over the top. Now, not even going to star fry this or do any sort of root hormone. Just going to take some soil here, and I'm going to just backfill this pot, okay? Watch this. I'm going to backfill it this much. I'm going to pull this tree over just a little bit so it's kind of, well, this one ain't going to get centered, so just watch. Fill it up. Fill it up. Don't ask me what kind of soil I use. I've got videos about that. And to tell you the truth, I use whatever I've got. Okay, there's all kinds of blends and mixes. None of it's special. I don't take the soil part precious because there's so much good soil and recommendations out there. A lot more better YouTubers will describe all sorts of soils. So just use whatever you got. Now, I'm going to go get some mulch from right here, and I'm going to top that off. And what I just did, essentially, was created a whole new tree. This is a stool layer, essentially. So I'm just piling that mulch in. It's good. Pipe that in. And in 1 month or 2 months, I can reach in there and cut this off down here where it's coming out from the trunk. And this will be a whole new tree. I'll label it then Peter's Honey. And from that one tree I got, I'm going to put more air layers on it too. Why not? See how many I can get off of this tree from Brad. All right, well, that's exactly what I wanted to do, was show you taking off those air layers that were successful and now reinstalling a new air layer. Basal layer, stool layer, whatever. Suckers, you see this, these suckers? Each one of them I'm going to get in there and make an air layer off of. Let's just keep looking. Look for some more examples while I'm talking. I see a nice one coming off the side of this one. This little guy. That will be a whole full-size tree this summer. Let's keep looking for some good candidates. You see, there's still 2 pots in there where I did it last summer. I didn't ever cut them off of there. They're growing. I mean, there are whole trees in there I need to cut off from that tree. Let's see, that's one that I did and never cut off. It's still sitting there. Let's see, what else? Got some mulberries getting ripe. Look at that. This is a Illinois everbearing that I had planted, but I dug out. All right, here's a good example. Look at this. This tree right here is gonna make 1, 2, 3, 4 of those propagations that I just showed you. As soon as they get a little bit taller, I like to see them a little bit taller, so that, but that might do right there. Slide that pot over, look, just like this. That's one that didn't work for one reason or another. But you see, look, let me pull it off and you'll see. That's it. That's what I had shoved up through that right there. There is a little tiny root. That could have been a fungal thread. But you see, all these are new candidates. Each one of these will be a whole new tree. And then I might leave one big main shooting straight up, but I'll get 4 or 5 off of this one tree. Okay, that is red Sicilian right there. This I-258, I'm gonna get 2 off of this. 1, 2, maybe 3. Okay, I'm gonna go around and do that and make hundreds and hundreds more propagations the quick, easy air layer way. I've got 40 more fig trees in that zone. I've got another 100 heading this direction. Okay, so off of those and these and the others I've got planted and scattered throughout the property, I'll make hundreds and hundreds of propagations. It's easy. All you need is some recycled black pots like this, reused, any sort of soil you can get your hands on. I'd venture to say this will work in sand, okay? This will work in heavy red clay. This will work in probably pure pine bark fines, this stuff right here. I know it works in pure compost. That's egg-shell compost. I would say this works in old potting mix. Okay, sticks and stems and everything included. There's pure sand right there. It worked in that. Old mulch, I would say it would work in that. Like this right here, old mulch, and then you dig in and get that crumble, it would work in that, okay? Pack it in good. It works in recycled potting mix and other, I mean, that's some soil from the forest. Like stuff I'm talking about, it's like leaf mold, but what you find underneath in a pine forest, so it's like pine straw mold essentially. It works in everything. This method works fantastic. So I want to see more people doing this. I think it's a way to multiply these fig trees. It's a way to not take cuttings, essentially. An easier method than taking cuttings. You don't need to take that green cutting off of the base of the tree and then try to root it. You just put a pot over top of it and it roots into that pot. Okay, so anyways, give me a shout out if you're going to try this. If you've got any questions, if you love it, if you hate it, like and subscribe. That's all I got for today. Y'all have a good day. Love you. Bye.